All right, y'all. So we had a part to it because my phone died, and I ain't got the mic. But I'm a loud mug, so I don't even need the mic. But we gonna part to it because I want to finish what I had to say, and then I'll let it go, right? But basically, as I started to get into reset Sunday part two, you're not blocked, you're distracted. Anyways, as I started to finally fall into submission with what the journal was asking me to do, like pick some tasks that you can do offline, pick what were the things that you actually did offline today, how did you feel, what did you learn. It just kind of, and it gives you like a few options, and then I'll show y'all one day, right? $5 book, amazing. But in that, when I was journaling, it required me to basically be intentional about certain things, and I stopped looking at things as a task list, meaning I need to put every little thing that I need to do. No, let me just pick a few things that I know that I need to do that I can do offline completely. That's going to fulfill purpose. That's going to make me feel like I'm being intentional, and you know, actually create space for me to do the things I desire to do, like being back into my creative flow and walking in my purpose, having space to think and be the visionary that I am in my purpose. And a lot of you guys operate this in those similar ways to me. I'm not going to say the same, but in similar ways to me, to where it's like, baby, if I'm not operating in survival mode, do you know what I would do? That that's an excuse, genuinely, that we love to use, but it's like, no, we really say that. Like, if I wasn't operating in survival mode, do you know what I would do? And the reason why I say that, it's kind of like an excuse because honestly, for a lot of creatives, if you look back at your journey, a lot of it was in chaos. And it didn't stop you from persevering and getting to the place that you are as a creative now. Does it get tiring? Yes. Are you exhausted? Yes. But also, creatives need a rest as well. Like, I feel like we treat ourselves kind of like we are fucking computers. You're not supposed to generate fucking creativity like AI, baby. That's why the pictures don't be where the fingers don't be where the fuck the fingers need to be, or as extra asshole or something. I'm sorry for the language. I'm sorry, but I'm just saying. The point is, you as a creative, the reason why the work that you used to create used to be so authentic, and you believed in it, and you felt like, oh my God, like this is the true embodiment of the power that I possess, right? It was because you wasn't generating from a place that it was like content where you feel like you got to be the next best thing. Or even for the creatives that get basically the notoriety that you deserve, because I hate when people be like, you finally get the notoriety. No, you deserve it. You worked, you did the work that you needed to do. When you finally get the notoriety you deserve, you feel like you're forced to basically generate to continue to appease people. But there was a time that you were creating art, and it wasn't to appease people. It was because that's what you genuinely love to do. Like, you felt like your gift was exuding, from your heart space, in a sense. Like, it wasn't coming from the mind space. I learned that, like, a lot of times when I'm creating, and I'm creating from my mind, it's very much fucking strategic. It's like a process, it's a system. It's like social media. But then when I'm operating from my heart, babe, I'll make a little mess, I'll fuck up a little bit, the vision will change in the middle of it. I'm not too held to how the visions change, because I'm not tied in to how someone's perceiving the creativity. I'm just happy that I'm in it. I'm blessed to have it. And that's how you guys should feel. Like, you genuinely should feel blessed to have it. But because you are blessed to have it, you have to be a good steward, regardless of, like I said, your spirituality or your religion. You have to have, number one, a sound mind, because having a clear mind is necessary for you to operate. Put the bullshit aside. Okay, bills are due every fucking day. That's how I move. But, like, did that stop a lot of the people from creating the things that we create or we believe to be iconic gifts that they left behind, that are basically their legacy, like the legacies that they've created? They were able to create that legacy in the midst of chaos. They were able to create their heaven, in a sense, create their heaven on earth by just moving in their purpose. And the reason why a lot of them started to doubt themselves is because they get around people who are not moving in that, and they're distracted, or they're around people, they're just around information that is pushing a different narrative, because a lot of times the narratives that are being pushed are about them. And think about it, a lot of times when you're getting on social media, a lot of the social content that you're getting pushed is either hyping up a negative ass thought or a perspective that you have, or it's literally something adverse to who you are, like the hate for black women content that's pushed. I promise you that's not on everybody's algorithm, and I promise you the people that's putting the information on there to feel it, for the most part, aren't even humans. They're out. It's literally bots. We know this at this point. The notoriety that you see some people have is not authentic because people do not genuinely connect with it. It's just another reel. And the reason why I kind of got to this like thought was one of the creatives that I recently got into, Malik Taylor, had passed a few weeks ago. I want to say it was at the beginning of September, or like literally the end of August. I found out from content being pushed, right? Prior to that, I think I had watched one of his most recent videos at the time, not even 24 hours ago, right? And I just love him because he just is always authentically operating in who he is. His channel, his whole platform was built on who he was, and he didn't negate from who he was just because it ruffled a few feathers. And regardless if I agree with everything he is, who he, like what he talked about and shit, I just genuinely enjoyed him as a creative because he was being himself. And so my thing is, that's the point, is as creatives, that's really what you want. You want people to feel tied to you or tied to your creativity, your art. You're not necessarily tied to the critiques and the perspectives of everybody. We really don't give a fuck. We don't. Well, in the space, except for the ones that don't, eventually you're not going to give a fuck. So, Malik Taylor passed, and I remember like when I looked underneath and the people who actually watched his content, or the people who kind of like fell upon it for a little bit but didn't stay, I seen the things that they said about him, and it was all beautiful things, right? But I got sad because I was like, damn, I feel like he can do so much. And when a lot of people pass, I feel like we do think that. And I've noticed recently there has been a lot of content creators pass, regardless if all of social media or the algorithm is pushing that information out or not. I got tied to the creatives that passed their art and their work, and I'm like, at least their legacy got seen. But it's like I kept feeling like these people could have did so much. They could have did so much more, or they were on the precipice of what was next for them. But again, source knows time and we don't. But because of that, it literally kind of was like you know how when you're having a heart attack or something, or they need to revive you or resuscitate you, and they put the little electric on your motherfucking chest? It was kind of like one of those for me, because for one, I'm warned for a second, just because I was just like, damn. And then I felt like for the amount of creativity that this person produced, it was just kind of like just another channel. Genuinely, I'm not even gonna say just another content creator. I felt like people in their mind compartmentalize him as just another channel, in a sense, because I just kind of feel like the love and the honor of this person's death was not justice. Like, they didn't get enough justice. I don't know the whole logistics of why they passed, right? But as a creative, you want to be leave a legacy. And when you get people nearest to your age, for like a lot of young people, y'all did have people pass that was so close to you at a very, very, very young age during COVID, like that season. Juice WRLD, always gonna mention that baby. Like, my brothers took that hard, right? But like, whenever you see that he left a legacy to where these people can enjoy their art. Like, even though he's been passed years now, there are people who still resonate with his stuff, so they keep his spirit, they keep his creativity, they keep his purpose alive regardless of him being here. And so for me as a creator, that's kind of what I want to do. And I'm not saying I need to live a Juice WRLD life. I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to say is, I want to make use of my time, and I genuinely want to use my creativity and my purpose as a blessing. And I'm going to tap out of the bullshit that's keeping me from doing it. And a lot of times we keep looking for someone to tell us the answer. The answer is stop. You know the fucking answer is get offline. You know how, like, even when, like I said, I listen to podcasts while I'm at work. That I can't journal in fucking podcast. I've tried to do that before. I've tried to journal, like, basically I'm journaling my own thoughts, and I'm trying to listen to somebody else's message, and I'll look at my fucking journal prompt or entry after the fact, and I'm like, yeah. So that is literally an example. Damn, look at how that came through. Literally, that is an example. Try to listen to a podcast and journal something that is supposed to be deep and intentional about yourself. Like, channel yourself within this journal entry and see how you're going to feel so fucking distracted to where you're not going to be able to understand the mission or the message that you were trying to share. You're going to feel distracted through it to where you're going to want to give up. And that's literally what I mean by distractions. If anything puts you in that way, whether it is online and social media, because some people don't struggle with that. They have a healthy balance, and I don't want to negate that. But there's something in your life that's distracting you in that way to where when you do it, it keeps you from finishing. You can't hear the message clearly. You can't hear the call clearly. Whether the call's coming from above, the Most High, Christ himself, right? Whether you channel your messages from your ancestors, which, again, we're going to stop demonizing everybody. We're going to stop demonizing that. Because, baby, your ancestors been talking to you too. And you've been calling it a demon, and you running away from an actual answer that you've been asking for. But I digress. Anyways, that's basically the purpose. You guys need to really if you want to lock in on your creativity, stop listening to everything. Like, literally tap out of whatever your distraction is, and the spaces where you used to partake in that distraction, whether it's doom scrolling, because even as a content creator, babe, you're not pulling inspiration from no fucking content that's not authentic, especially when it's 16,000 videos of the same fucking dance, same song, same everything. You're not getting inspiration, boo. You are copy and pasting, boo. And then you want to know why you're not fulfilled, boo. And then you're worried about the analytics instead of moving into your purpose and continue to create. Or instead of spending your time generating the same fucking content that you're going to see on your timeline, especially if you ain't got your own authentic spin to it, you can sit with your fucking self even when you don't get the answer from God or yourself or whomever you call on or channel, right? You'll get the answer if you sit there. You might not, when you sit down and go, okay, say you're a painter, right? Okay, I'm going to paint this Saturday from 1 to 6, right? If from 1 to 6 you can't put nothing on that damn paper, you should be sitting with yourself and trying to find inspiration. Step your ass outside. I step myself outside, and I don't have to go through trauma to be inspired anymore, babe. I'm inspired by and that's why, like, even when I try to record, I try to sit and do the beautiful, like, backgrounds and stuff like that. I want to give y'all studio vibes, but, like, LaTanya can channel Tanya and Source or not even me. I'm gonna tell y'all who I channel: God, the Most High, Jesus. When I channel them is when I'm sitting with myself in nature, when it's nobody calling my phone and I'm asking people and getting validation that's a distraction right there, seeking validation. When you create, the first thing you do is go shop your shit around from here to there, babe, that's a distraction. Because while you channeling and asking people, you're basically asking for people to sow seeds of doubt in you that you already have, especially if you don't got the community that tends to a garden like they need to. Clock it. And you know what I mean by that. If you ain't got people who's going to prune you in a healthy way, there's people who come in there and just rip up every fucking weed and rip up every root. Now, if we're ripping up weeds and take root with it, not even realizing it because they're not trained. They don't move in purpose. They don't move in intention. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't move in a creative flow, so they're not going to come and nurture you like they need to. A gardener is going to come in and nurture. Someone who just want to put their fucking hands in the mix is going to come in there and cause chaos. And so you're going at the people that you know in the past, they've sowed seeds of doubt. They've talked you out of doing things before because you know that's what you're looking for. But why not sit with the art that you make and just appreciate it? Sit with the purpose that you fulfill, whether it's big or small. Like for the nonprofit girls, you'll want to have the fucking $1,000 million donations. You want to be able to put that shelter up. You want to be able to feed millions of people, but you're scared to literally just go out there with 10 plates that you made of your own leftovers and connect with your community. Why? Like, how do you expect to feed the millions? How the fuck do you expect to even get the facility for the people if you never talk to the people to find out what they need? That's moving in purpose. That's what you can do instead of going online. And yes, I'm getting on my own ass too. Don't think this is for y'all. Y'all are not catching strays. We both getting shot. And I remember I was able to move in my purpose when I didn't have shit. And even when God gave me too much money to do the next thing, I didn't know how to operate in it because guess what? I'm now creatively blocked, because as I'm moving in purpose, I'm allowing those distractions to seep in and become focal points when they are just distractions. I allow the outside to try to dictate what my creativity is when y'all don't know what fucking drives me, what makes me tick and makes me ick. And the same thing goes for you guys. So that is Reset Sunday. I'm not gonna keep going on. Y'all got a two-parter. Yes, yes. And I hope that, I know the audio was a little crazy because I did not have my mic, but hopefully you guys get to hear me. But the ones who hear me was for you anyways. I love you guys. I hope you have a successful, beautiful week. I am going to tap back in with you guys for tomorrow for Mental Health Monday. I'm going to start doing those. I'm going to start locking back in on those too. So now, right now, we currently have a Reset Sunday series, and we have a Mental Health Monday. Mental Health Monday. And I hope I am able to feed the soul through both. I love y'all. Have a good day.